Here we go, the section for running water. We are going to focus on first when water as uh, coming as a participation from the clouds as rain or snow, right? And some of the water will go as a runoff, will go as in a system. So how what is determining this runoff amount? The intensity. So you need to know that the intensity, duration of rain, the amount of water already in the soil, nature of the surface material, if it's composed of what kind of rock or soil, you need to determine that, and the slope of the land and extent of the type of the vegetation is also important to um, determine the runoff in the system, right? And the water in a runoff is starting from mountain. It's going to go downhill and it will create a drainage basins. So we have this system created to analyze the water in hydrogeology, and hydrogeologists actually modeling this features in the computer. If you would like to become a hydrogeologist in the future, that can be something you can go in detail in future. I would like you to watch this video very carefully in order to understand what happens to the water when it's actually running water, okay? Listen carefully and take your notes and finish up with the homework. And also homework is um, about the zone of a river. We have three zones: headwater, zone of sediment production. We also have a zone of transportation, and also we have zone of deposition. And that's the homework question. If you listen to this video, you'll find the answer right away. And let's watch the movie here.
Hey there, this is Callan Bentley. Welcome back for another Smart Figure. After watching this video, you should be able to describe what a drainage basin is, how it relates to a river, and what separates drainage basins from their neighbors. So take a look at this sketch. Let's start up at the top here. We've got basically a ridge, and a drop of water falling from a cloud would fall, say, on the left side of that ridge, and then it would run off over onto the left side. Whereas a drop of rain that fell over on the right side of that ridge would run off towards the right. So in other words, there's a divide that runs along the crest of that ridge that basically divides two different drainage basins. Another name for a drainage basin is a watershed. You may hear that term. But basically, a drainage basin is an area where water from precipitation is caught and then it's directed into some single stream. So if we outline this drainage basin in the center of the bottom part of the figure, you can see that it basically is like a big bowl that catches water and then funnels it through tributaries to a main trunk stream. And that trunk stream flows downhill until it gets to some outlet. Let's take a look at an example. The Mississippi River is an enormous river, the biggest in the United States, and it has a really big drainage basin. That drainage basin is actually composed of many smaller sub-basins. So like the Ohio River has its own drainage basin, the Tennessee River, the Arkansas, Red, and White rivers have their own drainage basin. You can see up in the northwest the Missouri River Basin. And the Missouri River Basin itself can be subdivided. And we're going to zoom in here on the Yellowstone River Drainage Basin. And you can see that the Yellowstone River is the main river here, but it's contributed to by the Bighorn, the Tongue, and the Powder River. So the Yellowstone River itself has many tributaries, and then the Yellowstone River pours into the Missouri River, and the Missouri River pours into the Mississippi. And that drainage basin has a divide that separates it. And you can see here that one of those divides runs along the east, where basically the Appalachian Mountains serve as that divide, and so water on the other side of that divide runs downhill in a different direction, straight into the Atlantic Ocean. One of the review activities in this chapter has you draw in the drainage basin boundaries for this scene. So all you get here are the rivers, and you've got to draw in the drainage basin boundaries. So think about this, maybe trace it out on the screen with your hand. All right, so this is what I would do, something like this. I'm going in between these different tributaries to sort of divide up my different basins. So now I've divided the river system in the lower left from the others. Well, hopefully you got something that looks roughly like that. Basically, you're just trying to divide those tributaries up from their neighbors and then ultimately divide the main trunk streams from their neighbors. Good job. Thanks for your attention. This has been another Smart